Welcome to the Professional Nomad, where career growth meets community connection. I'm your host, Michelle, and each week I sit down with professionals right here in Rockford, talk about what they do, where they work, and how they're making an impact locally. This is really about people building meaningful careers right here and the stories we don't hear enough. Before we jump into today's guest, I want to share why this podcast even exists. I started this podcast because I kept noticing something. There are incredible people doing meaningful work in Rockford, and not nearly enough people are hearing about it. We hear a lot about leaving smaller cities to make it, but we don't talk enough about building something where you already are. What if success isn't about leaving, but about growing your impact right where you're planted? For me, Rockford has always been a part of my story, and I really believe the people here deserve to be seen. But enough about me. This is exactly why I'm so excited about today's guest. And honestly, I couldn't think of a better person to start with. Today, I'm joined by Olivia Hall, chef at 27 Aluna here in Rockford. Olivia is part of what makes that space so special. It's not just a restaurant, it's an experience. There's creativity, intention, and a level of detail that really stands out. And what I love about her story is that being a chef isn't just about food, it's leadership, creativity, pressure, resilience, all of it. So, today we're talking about what it looks like to build a culinary career here in town and what goes into creating that kind of experience and why choosing to stay and build in Rockford matters. Olivia, welcome.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Good. I'm great
I'm
now.
excited to be here, talk with
Yes.
you guys.
So excited to have you. Okay, so we're going to just start simple, jump right in. Tell me, what do you do and where do you work?
Well, I'm a sous chef down at 27 Luna, downtown Rockford, right next to the Coronado. I've been working there for about 3 years now. It's taught me a lot. I've grown a lot from it. I'm only 20 years old. I started fresh my senior year. I was 17 years old, just doing basic prep stuff, just stepping my foot into the restaurant industry for the first time. Took a lot of culinary classes throughout high school, but here I am in the restaurant now, and I'm 3 years in, already sous chef, so I'm learning a lot. Restaurants taught me a lot.
That's amazing. 20 and already accomplished way more than anything that I could think of in my 20s that I accomplished. That's amazing. So like what brought you here? What brought you to Rockford and 27 Aluna? What brought you here?
Well, I actually learned a lot of my culinary stuff from Erin Watson, who was my culinary teacher. She also learned from the owner of 27 Luna, Patrick Alberto. He's taught her, and then she taught me and sent me right back to him. So I was kind of pretty much made for Pat.
Oh my
He
gosh.
came and taught one of our classes back in, I think, my senior year, and I really enjoyed the food he brought in. He came and showed me what a bao was, and for me being such a foodie, something I'd never tried. So it was nice to see something unique in the Rockford area. So I stepped my foot and was like, "Hey, I want to work here." And as soon as I know him, I think I was working the day of my interview, which it was fun. But here we are, 3 years later, doing the best I can, showing people that you don't gotta be an old man to run a restaurant. Here we are, setting foot out here,
And
changing paths.
yes, truly the new legacy, like you're the new heir here. So that's incredible. Wow. What surprised you about building your career here so far?
Well, I love seeing how close the Rockford community truly is. I never really realized how much events and community things go on. I know just at my restaurant we do art shows, comedy shows, all types of stuff, open mic night. We have bands come perform, and then downtown you have something going on every week. There's always something for the community, which I never really realized because I thought we were such a small town. It's a lot bigger than you really think it is.
That's true. Yeah, I agree with you there too. So let's shift a bit into the actual work itself. Um, so you kind of already explained this, what pulled you into the work in the first place. So,
Yeah, I also have a background with a really big family. So we cook a lot. I have a bunch of stuff going on there. So ever since I was little, I remember just being able to see above the stove. I was the taste tester. Always trying to tell my mom what the sauce needed, what it was missing, what it tasted like. So I've always cooked for people and cooked for large amounts of people at the same time. So it's just been something I've always done, really passionate about. More feeding people than actually cooking the food is what I enjoy.
That's amazing. I love that story. You can picture little Olivia just in the kitchen.
Drinking sauce off the spoon, smacking my lips, trying to figure out what it needs. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I love that. Did you always see yourself in this position?
Truly no. I never really thought about it. And then once I got into middle school, they offered culinary programs, and I was like, you know what? I could take a class and cook and eat, have a snack in the middle of the day. I'm gonna do it. But then once I really applied myself, I realized that I'm good. I mean, I can do it. So there's not a lot of people that really have that restaurant brain, and let alone the kitchen side of it. So it was something I was like, I'm good at it, so I might as well pursue it. And on top of that, I really enjoy feeding people. I love the reactions I get from people eating food, and might as well put it into something that people love and can
Yeah,
appreciate.
yeah, no, truly. Um, so, what's something people misunderstand about what you do?
Um, To be honest, I'm not quite sure. I feel like most people think it's a lot of just stress and cooking and hot heat cuts and burning yourself and yelling at each other in the kitchen, barking orders, but it's a lot more of like to say it's like a dance. Like you kind of get into a routine with people, everyone that you're working with becomes family, especially in my kitchen. It's like a tight little hallway closet style size. Like there's enough room for 4 people max, and even then you're getting 5 feet worth of moving room to yourself. So you got to really learn how to dance with the people that you're working with. But other than that, I feel like a lot of people think it's just a lot of yelling, but it's more just it's love, it's communication at high volumes.
Well said. Absolutely. Um, and I think, yeah, I would imagine it would be very hot too at times. So,
Yeah, you just got to realize it's not personal. It's about getting the job done. Nothing's ever personal. Can't be sensitive. Got to take it as is and do your job as you're supposed to do it. Got to be tough.
was there a moment you ever questioned yourself or felt like you weren't enough at all in your position?
I mean, I feel like sometimes a lot of stuff can get over my head. Like with all my responsibilities, I'm the one who opens, I'm the one who closes. I do have people that help me prep and help me cook, but I'm doing a lot of the work. I do all the orders, I'm there every day we're open. So it's like I do feel like I have a lot on my shoulders, but I don't necessarily makes me feel like I'm less than or more than or above people. I feel like we're all a team. We're all doing our part. I just have a lot on my shoulders, especially for being, I don't know, 20 years old, trying to still figure out myself as an individual, but also trying to balance the restaurant on my back as well. But I do have a lot of support. My coworkers are really helpful in all aspects, from my boss taking care of all the behind the scenes to my dishwasher helping me do whatever I ask him I need. Like we have everybody. Everybody's part of the team.
Yeah, every part matters. Yeah. How has building your career right here in Rockford shaped you differently than somewhere else might have?
I feel like down here in Rockford, you get like a good aspect, like a good little mix of everybody. There's a good mix of community here. You have people who are here for the orchestra, and you have people who are here for literally just the food. You have people who are here come here from Ice Hogs. Like I don't know if I'm just clueless, but I was out in Chicago yesterday, and I seen like big Ice Hog banners everywhere, and I was like, I didn't realize people outside of Rockford talked about the Ice Hogs. And they're like, well, it's
Wow.
Chicago Ice Hogs. I was like, no, it's Rockford Ice Hogs. So that was just something like realizing Rockford's a little bigger than I thought it was. So working here is actually putting yourself on the map more than you think it is, even though it seems like a really small town.
It does, but I can't even imagine just living in Chicago recently and seeing an Ice Hawks banner. Respect.
Right?
All right. Kind of stemming from where we left off. Want to go a little bit deeper. Um, So, more into the creative process of cooking. So, when you're creating a dish, where do you start?
Well, you always got to think about the flavor profile. I'm really into salty, savory, extreme like roller coaster flavors. I know a lot of people aren't into a lot of excitement, so you got to think about everybody else, not just my own palate. So, I really love a good mix of like the sweet, the salty, the tangy, having a good texture in there, but I really like to think about more how the food makes me feel rather than how it's gonna taste for real. I know I personally like if I'm eating good food, I usually hit a little dance. Like I always catch myself like I'll sit there like shaking in my chair, and if I know that that food's making me feel like that, I know I did something right, sending it out right.
Yeah, no, yeah, I love it all. So, if you have not had Olivia's food, I'm just gonna insert that now.
Yes, please make your way down. You know,
Yes.
I love seeing you guys. I have a little open window, so I know when you come. I don't miss a face.
Uh, and have you ever had something turn out completely different than what you had expected?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the times, like trying new flavors, especially working in the Filipino cuisine now, it's something new and exciting to my palate, I guess. I'm really into like the Italian and the Mexican cuisine. But Filipino is really a Mexican Asian clash, which is something that's I never even thought existed, but here it is, and I'm learning to cook it. It's obviously different flavors that I'm not used to, and it all works out well. Like our machado sauce, you'll definitely have to come try it out. Beef machado, that is
Oh
one of
my
my
gosh,
favorites. That
hands
is
down.
one of the flavors that it's so unique. That's the reason it won us Best Dish in Rockford Restaurant Week back in 2025.
Yeah, totally unique flavor profile. Um, just the mixture of the two cuisines of Mexican, Filipino. I mean that is a fusion that works, and
Mm-hmm.
you all did that thing. Um, so, um, a little bit further about creation. I think you may have mentioned this prior, but when do you feel like you do create dishes more for yourself or for the guest?
I always feel like I definitely base it off my palate first. I'm like, "Ooh, this sounds really good." But then I step back and think, okay, what are other people gonna like about this? Like, how do I tone it down? It's not just like something I'd make myself, but something that I'd make for everybody. So it's a little mix of both. Definitely think about what I want first and then put into perspective what everybody else wants.
All about the balance. All right. And how do you balance creativity with consistency? Speaking of balance.
Well, I feel like perfecting the dish is always something you got to work on first. But then after you perfect that dish, you got to also taste every time you recreate that dish. Make sure it tasted exactly how it tasted the first time you did it. Even though you took all your time and practice and mistakes in the first couple times practicing it, once you get it down and you memorize that flavor, it's just learning that muscle memory to create that exact same flavor over and over again.
That's amazing. Wow. That sounds actually pretty difficult to achieve,
Yeah, well,
honestly.
that's one thing I appreciate. Like, I guess, like I said, the taste testing when I was just about able to see over the stove, like, it really brought back it really, how do you say, strengthened my palate.
Yeah.
So it really got me able to taste the flavors that I need or recognize the flavors I'm missing and need to get.
Um, so what does excellence look like in your kitchen?
Excellence is definitely communication, cleanliness, efficiency, speed. You want to make sure you guys are constantly talking on the same page, make sure everything stays clean because if you do not have a clean area, your mind's just going to be as messy. So you want to have yourself a clear space to work, clear mind space. Always like that. Efficiency, always speed is key. If someone, you're only as fast as your slowest person, so you want to make sure everybody's up, and that's worried about efficiency and strategies and different types of things you can do to get things done in the fastest way possible and also the most efficient way. Make every sure the products is coming out great.
Just that note itself, like about being clean to stay mentally organized, that is something I'm going to take with me from here because that makes a lot of sense to me. And wow, take
Yeah,
notes, people. Olivia knows what she's talking about.
yeah, no, I've definitely learned that phrase from My old chef Nate and Pat, he's definitely taught me clean line, clean mind. That's kind of one thing that I've always kept with me. Kind
That's
of always think in my
new.
back of my head, if I see something messy, I'm like, all right, stop, clean, get back to it. Because if you're messy, you can't focus. It just doesn't work like that.
If there's one thing I take away. No, that is phenomenal. I love that. I've never heard that before. Um, all right, how do you get your team aligned with that?
I say just a really good like inside work, outside work balance. I know a lot of our coworkers go out and hang out outside of work and we build friendships and it almost feels like a small family where we work. We all have respect for each other and realize that we're all in this together. So everything that we do affects the other person just as much as it's going to affect ourselves and the whole picture and all.
Yeah, no, that's a great work relationship there. It's really strong. Um, do you feel that there is an ingredient that is underrated?
I really do. I guess vinegar. I like vinegar. A lot of people kind of get thrown off when you think about adding vinegar into a sauce or into anything, but I love a good twang. It balances out everything. I feel like it brightens up the flavor in a lot of dishes. So,
That actually, like, my reaction on my face when you said that, because vinegar is for me one of those ones that can sometimes put me off as well.
right,
So that was kind of a shock.
right,
So, but you got me thinking differently though.
right. Used in moderation and in the right ways, it balances out a lot of flavors.
Huh.
You need that tanginess to really bring everything together more than you know it.
Wow. I'm just learning so much. I'm so excited. With your level of creativity that comes forward, I also imagine there can also be a lot of pressure to balance out as you're, moving through your groove
hmm
and enjoying your creative freedom. Um, what does pressure look like in your world?
I feel like a majority of the pressure I feel is just trying to live up to my own expectations with, I mean, just having my title being responsible for everybody underneath me, rather that's everybody's actions or my actions. So I got to take into account that everything I do is affecting everybody as a whole. So it's more of just me putting the pressure on myself to do the best for everybody, not just myself. But yeah, there's the typical pressures of a busy night where I can't even think straight because there's tickets stacking up on top of each other. But that's the least pressure. That's the easiest pressure. That's what I work best under. That's why I picked this job. But the most pressure is literally just what I'm given to myself.
So then, how do you reset after one of those tough nights?
I go to the gym a lot. I spend about 2 hours in the gym every night after I get off work. I'm at work till 10:30, 11:30, midnight sometimes, and I still try to make sure I go at least an hour, 2 hours every night just to get rid of that excess energy, whatever's going on in my head. Just puts me in a better mood and gives me something to actually do after work because I spend most of my days from 2 o'clock to all my nights, weekends at work. So it's just giving myself something to push myself to do better for myself, get myself grooving. But on my off days, I like to go outside, hang out with my friends. I like to go to Chicago a lot. Love to go restaurant hopping and eat out in Chicago, and I love to hike. Love being outside. Love swimming, being out in nature. Nature's my peace.
I love that. You've definitely found your peace outside of the kitchen too.
hmm
So that's beautiful. Um, what makes a kitchen culture healthy versus toxic?
I feel like communication and is always a big key in any relationship, whether that's friendships, coworkers, real relationships, anything you want. Like communication is a big key to being untoxic. Realizing nothing's personal, it's all about the task at hand, and just support each other. Be there for when you need. People all have their own lives, hard times, so you just got to be there and be the person someone can depend on because you're only as strong as your weakest person. So you got to be there for everybody, support everybody.
So true. Preach. Um, as far as experience, what do you want people to feel when they eat your food?
Um, I guess the way food makes me feel is just happy and comfort, and I love feeling that like just like that warm feeling that food gives me. Like I said, that little dance I hit, like that feeling I get, it's just I don't know, put a word on it, but just the way good food makes you feel. That's the way I want to rub off on everybody. Someone to think about that, dream about that meal, and want to come back for more.
Yeah. No, I've definitely experienced that a time or two coming in there at 27 Aluna. Um, some of the worst days, that the best food just brings you back and just yeah lifts something in your spirit when you're down. It's
100%.
it's
Yep.
phenomenal. Yeah. So thank you for putting that out there in your food because it's definitely received.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Making food with love, it shows.
Yeah. That's the secret ingredient. You can taste it in there. You can almost if you close your
Hmm.
eyes. All right. Has anyone ever shared something about their experience that stuck with you?
I feel like a lot of people. Okay, there was this one time where I was helping my teacher Erin Watson out with a catering, and we had. I just all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I just feel like making these meringue cookies for this, just as like an extra thing to throw in for them. I think it was like a birthday dinner or anniversary dinner of something, and I just happened to throw these in, and I
Oh,
got a message from the guy we did the catering for saying that his grandmother who had passed away always made meringue cookies, and it was just like I had this feeling, just kind of
wow.
like this is something that we needed to do, and the message was sent and felt well. That's something I'll always remember. I never did it intentionally. It was just something like I'm just gonna do something nice, and it turned out being way nicer than it meant to be.
Oh my gosh. I can only imagine how she felt.
Right?
Wow. Yeah, no, it's so powerful. And the intention behind, what you do, it really makes a difference. It makes
Right.
an impact.
Food feeds the heart.
Yeah. And do you see what you do as art, a service, something else? Maybe there's a name for it. Um,
I guess I wouldn't necessarily see it as. I guess I really see it as a passion. Like it's an act of service. It's an act of love. I really feel like it's a necessity. Like I feel like it's something that's needed in all aspects of life. Food's always gonna make the day better, make the food better, make the mood better. Food changes the mood, I'll tell you. But yeah, no, I really feel like it's a necessity for anything. It's definitely my love language, so I know it means a lot to other people. It means a lot to me for sure.
yeah, it sounds like your true calling, honestly. And one thing I like to talk about on this podcast is how we tie our worth to where we are and what we do. Have you ever tied your value to your title or your role?
Yeah, I feel like I do definitely hold myself to a standard with being like the sous chef. I do feel like I have to step up and be above, like not necessarily above people, but be the person in charge, be the person that someone's looking up to for how to do their own job. Um, I mean, I'm still a young woman with a whole life ahead of me, but I feel like I have so much more worth being a strong, like leading position in the job I'm in. Feels like for being such a young individual, I'm really putting myself where I need to be on the right path.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like that. And yeah, it's incredible, Olivia, being 20. And again, I just can't imagine you've found your calling and are working, with your passion being your love language, and so many people being able to experience that. It's very special. Um, what would you say to someone who feels like they must leave where they're currently at to grow?
Do it. You know what I mean? If you feel like you are stuck and you aren't at any form of growth and you're at your top step of where you can be, you can always find a new path. You know what I mean? You've applied yourself to the most. You can't hold yourself back. There's always better. You're never your best. You could always be better. So always push yourself. If you 100% realize that you're at the top of where you can be at someplace, you have to leave the nest. You got to jump and set your wings and move
Hmm.
on. I mean, yes, you used another building block of Django in the Django of your life and you've built yourself where you need to be there, but you got to keep growing. You got to keep going. That was actually what I put on my graduation cap. Keep growing, keep
Yeah.
going.
Who would have thought we'd hear those words echoed again today? Oh, that's amazing. All right, we're gonna lighten it up a little. It's time for the local plug. Olivia, what is your favorite Rockford restaurant?
If I'm being quite honest with you, I don't really go out to a whole lot of restaurants because I'm usually working when all the restaurants are open. So a lot of the places I've been on, or probably my favorite place I've been on in Rockford just because it has so many memories is probably Johnny Pancakes. I know it's just a simple breakfast spot, but that's usually where I'd go for my family breakfast is out with my family where I can see all my nieces and nephews and sisters. I have a really large family. I value family a lot. So it's just one of those places where I have good memories at. Not necessarily the most amazing food, but it's a pretty damn good breakfast. I'll tell you that. So,
Oh yeah, my family loves Johnny pancakes. Definitely generations worth of experiences. Having Swedish pancakes.
right.
Such a great ambiance for that family spot. Definitely mom and pop vibes,
Yeah.
but nonetheless amazing. How about the best coffee spot for a meeting?
Well, I may be biased, but I love 27 Luna. I love the art scene. I love the staff. It's such a cozy, warm place. The music's always a vibe. The ambiance, it's there. Like, coffee's great. Our bar manager, Jacob, he does an amazing job at everything from cocktails to his coffee. So here we are. He's doing amazing.
Yes, a shout out to Jacob. He definitely knows what he's doing if you want to have a phenomenal latte. And a lot of people, I don't know if they realize that that is a place that you can also go. It's not just dinner. You can have an amazing brunch and some coffee to get your day
Yeah.
started. It's incredible. Shout out to Meg's Daily Grind for providing their beans.
Yeah. Local coffee.
Okay, so before I let you go, I've got one more for you. If you could give your younger self, one piece of advice when you started your career here, what would that be?
Hmm, I would say keep doing it. You're doing great. You know what I mean? Don't hold yourself to too high of standards. Keep pushing your exactly where you should be. I really do feel like this is a really good stepping stone and exactly the ladder I need to be on to get to where I want to be. So I think I'm doing well. I have no regrets on where I'm at and what I'm doing. So I'd just say keep going, keep doing, keep growing.
Oh my goodness. That is the best answer you could ever have. And honestly, that's just a perfect way to wrap everything up. Thank you so, so much again for being here.
And thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, this was a great conversation. And I just can't believe this is the first episode, and here we are with this trailblazer representing Rockford here. Um, Olivia is what really stays with me after our conversation is the intention behind everything you do. Um, it's not just about food. It's about creating experience, leading with purpose, and taking pride in where you are. And that's what building something meaningful here really looks like. Because no matter where you go or how you grow, your worth doesn't change. You matter. The Professional Nomad is brought to you by a group of incredibly talented human beings. Producer and lead production coordinator Jacob Lindley. Cover art for The Professional Nomad by Benjo of Benjo Blocks. Follow at Benjo Blocks on Instagram. Audio production lead and creative operations producer Corey Wicklin. Executive producer and your host, Michelle Markley. Thank you again to our guest of this very first episode of The Professional Nomad, Olivia Hall, and to our wonderful listeners. Talk to you again soon.